Right. The thing I wanted to talk about today is, I guess, supposedly the gullibility of the design, or like the whole system, I guess you could call it. Where do I even begin? I've stopped recording because, well, I was experimenting. See, the thing about transforming or at least trying a different system is it takes time, right? I mean, even the design itself tells you that it takes about 7 years for the body to decondition, etc., etc., etc. But the thing I wanted to talk about is, well, exactly how do you do that? See, when I was introduced to the design, I didn't even really believe it at the beginning. Then I came back to it, I started reading about it, maybe getting to know the basics, and I started trying it out. But there was something that didn't click. I mean, I believe the information for then, I mean, I guess everyone ought to, because it is a sort of a manual, but the thing I've noticed is that the system inherently told me that, oh, I am a manifestor, I am supposed to act, I am supposed to do things, but something didn't click. You know, manifestors are supposed to be the ones who are initiating. They are supposed to be the ones that have this impulse to do, and they are supposed to have energy. Well, this is where my problem began. See, overall, I don't feel energetic. It's quite interesting. And the design said, oh, you have you're a manifestor, you're supposed to do stuff, you're supposed to be active, be constantly the one initiating, etc., etc. And you know, I really did try to initiate. And sometimes it worked, and sometimes it was such a complete failure. Even though I did everything that I was supposed to do, and you know, informing and just like trying to manifest something, and it just didn't work. I met a full resistance. I don't want to like swear, so yeah, sorry. But I met resistance, a lot of resistance, and there was something that just didn't click, and I felt it internally. Fortunately, I met my mentor, and he is one of the people who is kind of dissident with the whole, I guess you could call it pop culture design. See, it's not wrong with it. I mean, the whole popular design is not wrong, but I feel like it is castrated. And this castration leads to generalization, which goes incredibly against what Ra said, right? Ra said that everyone is supposed to have their unique design, unique. And within like the pop culture, there is generalization. So generally, I am like a manifestor. I am a manifestor. But normally, really, I am not. Let's do it like this. I'll show you like my design somewhere here. I'll just like click it and we'll go over why it isn't so. My design is purely design side. My personality doesn't have any activations. So there's no like mental connections. There's no mental channels or mental energies that I have. So my design is purely the subconscious, the body. Now, the problem begins with the fact that I am supposed to be an ego manifestor. So I am supposed to manifest from the willpower. Well, generally, in the right conditions, that is true. I am manifesting. I have the willpower to do things. I am the one who initiates. I lead. But normally I don't. My ego isn't there. My willpower isn't there. I feel less energetic. I don't have the activity or like the um, energetic side of my design, and I was wondering what is wrong with me. Fortunately, my mentor told me incredible things, and I saw and it clicked. And you know what's the best? I just like remembered it. So I even booked a professional reading of the design, right? And even before it, I was studying design, so I like read the book, and I was just like listening to lectures, and then I booked a professional like consulting, like the professional reading, and they said the same thing which I already read and which I already like sort of learned in the meantime. So I never really got anything new. I did get some nuances. I did get some like specificities that I just wasn't sure of, but as a general rule of thumb, I already knew everything. And surprise, surprise, I even talked more than the guy himself. I think I taught him some things about my design, about like the design in general. I don't know, it might have been the case. Right, but going back to the clue of this message, so this aspect of being an active design, like the pure force of will, pure force of manifestation, it just isn't there. My design is very conditional. So if you look at it, you have things such as the 2145 channel, and this is supposedly the place or the channel that makes me a manifestor. Now the problem, I mean, I guess you won't call it a problem, but the specificity is that the 45 gate is in what? My north node. And this is where the problem lies. See, general design tells me, okay, you're a manifestor, you're supposed to act independently, or you're supposed to like, initiate, etc., etc. And I try to do that. I try to, manifest, I try to like do stuff, but I just wasn't able to. There was this resistance within me that I myself operates more like in routine. I don't have this oomph that I sometimes get. But now when I'm with a community, I'm in the right environment, oh, something changes. I have this manifesting capability. Right. The nodes. What my mentor told me is the nodes are not a part of your design. Even Ra said that nodes aren't necessarily a part of your design. They're just not a how do you call it? They're not an energy that is present within you. It is dependency, and it's dependent on the environment you are in. But a transgression, the environment side that everyone's telling you, mountains, shores, valleys, it doesn't work like that. My supposed environment is high valleys, so exclusive places, VIP places. I was invited to one, like I guess you could, it wasn't really a VIP party, but it was an upper class party. And you know what I saw? I saw treachery in eyes. I saw people who weren't genuine, authentic. I saw deceit, and it generally felt awful to be there. It felt like you were less of a person but more of a transaction. And if this is supposed to be my correct environment, quote unquote, that everyone is telling me about, and I even heard it on the reading, then I am the second coming of Jesus Christ and you all will be saved by me. And I don't really think that this works as that. I don't know, we will see. But the nodes, they are not a part of the design. They are, and I have to like pull up my notes, they're more of a, how do you even call it? Receptivity. They are very receptive, and they are, I like the word. Yes, the word I was looking for was sensitivity. You are sensitive to the environment. And my design functions through this sensitivity, through the correctness of environment. And the thing about the environment is that you have to surrender yourself to it. And only through that surrender do you actually, I actually operate as a manifester. Because we all now know that the 45 isn't a part of my design per se. That means that the connection between the throat and the ego is not present all of the time. This means that whenever I try to manifest or initiate, in this case, from the willpower where I don't feel as if I have this power, there is a problem. There is the resistance. There is this notion of wrong frequency, that there is no inherent connection, there is no me taking charge. And it feels like I am either too forceful, or it feels like nobody responds. And everything just falls apart all over that, because I am supposed to be a manifestor, right? I am supposed to manifest all of the time. And I have friends who are manifestors, and I see them operating, and surprise, surprise, I don't have this same energy. I don't have this same oomph that they have. And this is because I normally operate as a non-energy type. In case of like the generalized version, I operate as a projector, because I only have a stable connection between 41 and 30. And the 21-45, the 45 is conditional. And how does that work? See, through my experimentation and through like exploring it with a person that is teaching me, I've got to a point where I understand how it works for me. See, it all begins with the 26, right? Because there is the south node and the north node. It is where something begins, and it is something where it ends. Where you begin, where you come from, and where you end up. And this is how the sensitivity, the resonance of the environment works. You are starting to get receptive from one end and end up in another. How does it work here? It is the 26, the egoist, or the energy or the possibility of knowledge that you have what it takes, you have the energy to act. And then it activates the ego, which later leads it to 21-45, which is able to manifest. And it happens only when there is the right resonance or the correct environment. And the environment is not a place, it is not a physical space, it is sensitivity to people, to like the space you are in, or even the timing. Because otherwise I would be a manifestor all of the time. I am not. I operate in the generalized terms more as a projector, which is looking out. And it's sort of, I guess you could call it, my body actively seeks correct resonance for its ability to manifest. See how it makes sense in this case? Because I am not really able to operate correctly by myself. I'm not able to operate as an energy type by myself. Only through the correct environment, which in my case it's the fourth line, so a network. My manifesting capability comes in when I have a correct network or group of people or whatever, where I can take charge of my manifestation. It is dependent upon the correct resonance. And the generalized human design told me I'm a manifestor. Funny. I guess what I'm trying to tell you at the end of this video is really do consider what your design is, because I've only started to experiment correctly with what I interpreted right now, and I see the results. I don't force myself anymore. I don't force myself to be a manifestor where I am not it. I have my guide which is another topic I might even talk about. And I've recently gotten like 2 or 3 stories or like places or happenings that confirmed me confirmed like the notion that I am in fact dependent upon the right resonance. And just the fact that everyone keeps on repeating the sameness, and like the castrated version, everyone just assumes it to be so. I assumed it to be so. And I mean, I guess this kind of the gullibility of it. It's easy to understand the generalized version, and I think that this is what Ra said when it comes to like knowing your design makes things more easy, just like having it. But like really getting it is where the magic happens. And I'll keep on experimenting with what I've come to my conclusions so far. But as a general rule of thumb, just don't believe what everyone says. Try and just see if your connections in between gates are really activated, or are they dependent upon the nodes. Because it makes a huge difference between you being an energy type or you being a hybrid, I guess, in this case, because I am hybridized. Yeah, that's it. Just look at your design and do it with ChatGPT. Do it with anything, but just don't accept what everyone says. Russ said that. See for yourself. Yeah.